Hello, everyone. How are you
Hello,
doing
hello,
tonight?
hello.
Hey, Roy, good to see you, sir. Yeah, we are here
Hey,
talking about NFT, crypto, play to earn, the future of games. Absolutely, I would say. But let's talk about it. So I'm going to introduce myself. Roy, you're going to introduce yourself. Then we're going to talk about a few topics, and then we're going to see if we can get questions from the Discord for Dev.Play. Anyway, we're really stoked to be here, and as you can see, I love the cats. But anyway, we are going to talk now about NFT crypto and myself. So I'm Marty Caplan. I'm a game director at Amber. I do a lot of different things in the company. I run our innovation consulting group, which is called Creative Core, and I'm also helping run a few different projects that are all NFT play to earn based. So I'm right in the thick of it, as is Roy. Roy, please introduce yourself.
hey everyone. My name is Roy. I'm heading everything business marketing for TRON. TRON is one of the leading blockchain projects in the world, and yeah, glad to be here.
Cool. All right, great. So we're gonna do a few questions, just to kick things off in terms of our conversation. So, Roy, I mean, you're got a lot of friends in the industry. You've spent like more time than most people I know in the industry, especially in terms of looking at games. So, how are games evolving from free to play into free to play to earn?
For sure. I mean, like every I remember when I got into the game space back in 2007, sorry, oh 06, and the people was like a premium, deluxe, and come into the later on freemium. But really, people try to understand one thing. People play what are the games we're building here? All the games tell blockchain, everywhere building all kinds of games is about role playing, right? We're trying to fit us in the role, whether it being a king or being a shooter or being a gangster or being whatever. You're trying to fit in the role, and in the role, you're playing as a player. Essentially, you're trying to immerse yourself through the experience. That's the takeaway when you play the game. You want that experience. That's where you can see like a free to play comes in place because it's not just a movie where all these the ninth art is good, everything gets started derived from these studios, rather becoming a consumer internet experience that free to play get enough bigger funnel for people to get in and to run as an internet product. Now, where we are right now, it's a step further from that. It's not from like the perspective about like web game change to the mobile game, which is a platform change or control layer change. Now, with the introduction of the blockchain and crypto, we're seeing it's a paradigm shift towards economy layer shift. So at a broader stroke, we're at the intersection of like a dot-com era as of what it is now that impacts on the economy through blockchain, which also impacts on the consumer internet experience or our gameplay experience. The free to play gets people into the funnel, but play to earn adds additional takeaway for why people should participate into these games or these interactions or these engagement. I think that's a completely different change of what do we do here? Just put example, people used to play game for satisfaction, for relaxation, for whatever purposes. And ecosystem, people do the streaming, play the game on Twitch or other services to stream to make money, to engage fan base, and that probably that's the way for a player to earn um, as part of the game ecosystem. But by introducing the crypto and the blockchain technology, everybody can play multiple roles. And that reminds early days of Warcraft, World of Warcraft, where you can be a miner, you can be whatever miscellaneous like roles play around. But the other time is Blizzard. Blizzard might have total authority onto what you can and cannot do. People's interest might be on the line of Blizzard's like a mood of the day. So that is now the same for crypto as it's completely decentralized.
So much to unpack there. Wow. So, I mean, I
Sure.
think that I've been thinking about this in terms of the big inflection points that have happened over the last 20 years in the game industry. This is absolutely the equal of the shift from console to sort of feature phones, and plus feature phones to smartphones, plus the sort of the interesting shift that happened when everyone became a gamer, like my mom and and my grandmother and their sister, like they started talking about Farmville in a way that I was like, oh my
Hmm.
gosh, this is like hardcore gamer talk where they're optimizing like farming strategies
Same
with
as
each
this,
other,
everybody talking about Bitcoin, right? Now everybody's
right?
talking about Bitcoin and the crypto stuff, right? That's
Exactly.
already a shift over there.
And so I think that it's very like we haven't quite hit that Farmville moment yet where everyone is in crypto. Right now it's kind of specialized, right? People for pay to earn or play to earn um, on games, right? Right now you have just looking at some statistics for like like the craziness that has happened really only over the last 6 months. So you look at Axie Infinity, for instance, that's kind of like one of the top players or whatever in terms of the games. They've done $2.6 billion with a B U.S. dollars in revenues since their launch. But that's really mostly happened since May this year, and I guess they had 1.8 million active users in August, which is like, to be honest, not a bunch of. It's not a big group. Like it's big
That's DAU
enough,
though. That's DAU though.
obviously. Yeah, yeah. So and they spend and spend and spend, and lots of people have been made into like millionaires because of the way that the Axie Infinity and now lots of other games are running their economy and connecting it with crypto. So could you talk a little bit about how that works and why that kind of how that happens?
So again, I'm just speaking from the very basic language here. Hopefully, that makes sense. But essentially, when we play games like the traditional games, so to speak, the games we play, they are have you collect soft currencies, then hard currencies, soft currencies. These are virtual currencies. But now we're swapping these virtual currency out. Oftentimes, when you play the game, you'll be rewarded or you're earning in terms of these digital assets like NFTs or other crypto currencies. So that, if it's asset might get appreciation over time on the different markets. That's how you can see the earning start to come into play. People see like I'm not just spending my time, not just pay out of my pocket, but in a certain way, I'm making my time or my behavior as a investment into the project I believe in, and which converts into a certain tokens or NFTs as a return input that give back to the player or the user base. So that is how everything gets started, thanks to also all the decentralized exchanges, and also earlier in the year NFT becomes mainstream. I mean, NFT has been there for multiple years, right? It's been very early on, and I've been like involved in NFT space back in 18, and at the time it was not CryptoKitty got some headlines, but never got into what NFT was today is today.
You're talking about CryptoKitties, which is
Predominantly.
a breeding game that existed, I think, launched in 2017, and was sort of
Right.
one of the very first game functionality having NFT projects that is still around today.
Yes, yes. Thanks for giving the context. And but at the time, I think it's the market. It was still a huge success, by the way. But at the time, the market is it's a bit early to the market, as in people still try to understand what is crypto, how do I trade crypto, and what's the mechanics behind that, gas fees, Ethereum, so on and so forth. And also there's no DEX like with as a mainstream as usage as compared to today, which is not easy for people to swap the digital asset they earned or rewarded to other things, right? So that limits a lot of that limits a lot of how to say I try not to use a financial word, but that limits about the upside of the what people can earn. Now with DeFi, you have different um,
What's
interesting like
DeFi?
financial tools. It's a decentralized finance. Uh, is a one of the biggest innovation. Since blockchain was invented, which basically means that gets you to run multiple financial tools on a decentralized platform like blockchain. The tools including like borrow lending, and sort of things like as you can imagine. But point here is with the DeFi and these kind of tools in place, NFTs and these digital assets can be used for multiple purpose. This make it which compensates for the liquidity, so that people can actually use that and trade that, as well as adding more avenues of for normal people.
Yeah. And so what I find really interesting is how like Axie Infinity started in Vietnam. There are a lot of people around the world now who are playing to earn and then actually supporting themselves and their families with their play. So designing
Mhm.
games that enable that is a really interesting challenge because you're starting to involve real money, you're starting to involve people's livelihoods, and so as we sort of go into this future of games possibly having elements of being able to get real money into and out of via different DeFi, NFT sales, and sort of selling different parts of the game that you earned on public market. We're running into some troubles. Lots of different governments and lots of different uh, organizations are having a lot of different opinions about what's going on here. And so, if you're a game developer and you're thinking about making a game that does that uses some of these systems and it makes it possible to play to earn, you got to start thinking about, well, what is your opportunities for distribution? What is your opportunities for market? Like, what kind of friction are you going to put in place that allows people to have a wallet and get onboarded and all that kind of thing that we usually just kind of take for granted a little bit nowadays because hey, you get Steam, you get a game, and discoverability is never easy, but you market it and then people can has a really easy install with that or with the Epic Store.
Yeah, you take it for granted. You take it for granted, but also you hate that sometimes as well to the developer point of view. You would say, hey, why don't you feature me Steam? Why don't you feature me Apple? Why don't you feature me Google? Like you try to figure out a way and it's like, what decides the result of a featuring? Like human. It's just a human
Oh yeah.
subjective deciding whether you should be featured. But every developer treats their game as a piece of art. Every game should be featured, right? But why Apple, Google, Steam should be the one to make the judgments like, you should be featured, you should not be. Who gives them the right of
Well,
controlling your
they
livelihood?
have that.
Why they should
I think
keep on doing that? Why should it keep it
yeah.
30% and still say you should earn the 70%?
Oh
Or you
goodness.
should not earn
Now we're
that?
getting juicy. So yeah, I would. It's a very interesting question, and that leads into that little drill down that we talked about, which is like the top line innocent question to ask is why did Valve remove blockchain games from their platform, and why is Epic
They don't want no
saying that
trouble.
they're okay with it?
Right, that's a
What's
very
that?
good point. Like you can see this, that's a very good point. As you can see, what the Epic, came into the game here, trying to challenge this, Steam's positioning, where it's more taking more disruptive approach. Yet, I think, the founder of Epic himself, he said, he's not doing anything NFT related for his games.
Yeah,
Funny
Fortnite will
enough,
not have NFTs in it right
we
now.
also
Yeah.
right now. But I'll circle back to it. But it's interesting enough to see like the platform though doesn't say no to NFT games. That's interesting, right? I mean, they know it's disruptive, but they don't want to be out the front to disrupt. I don't know, end of the day, whether we will support or not, or just a PR stunt. I don't know.
Hmm.
I think given where they are in Epic, they're still very much conservative. They just try to, especially based on the news, how soon it's going to release right after the Steam announcement. To me, it's more like a more of a marketing stunt than anything else. But really, you see whether it supports or not is like NFT games. It's just a way of distribution. Like these NFT games or crypto games in general does not rely on Epic to get distributed. It's just a link. Why do I need Epic to do what? You can, if you want a payment gateway, you just go integrate Stripe or other like MoonPay or other services. Why do you need any of these guys to do it? Again, it comes back to my earlier point. Who gives them the right to say you should be featured or not? Who give them the right to say, okay, I decide how much traffic goes to your game? They should not have to say. It's all yours. It should be yours. So I
Yeah, and
think
you're
that
seeing
changed a
that
lot of
with
things. And
Axie
given
Infinity,
crypto,
right? They are absolutely like they're going to define. They have their own marketplace. They've made all that money with no distribution via the Apple Store, Apple App Store, or the Google Play. They've got this insanely loyal fan base because they are like in people's
they can
lives
make
as
money.
a way to make money.
You earn me like bread and butter. So it's why do I leave you? Why do I go to look? The demographic is different here, right? I know this is a game session. This is a game panel, but like I said, the demographic, the mindset changed a lot. A lot of people came for the traditional gaming for the prestige, for the role play experience. Rather for crypto gaming, you're coming in as an investor, as somewhere coming to here just to make money. Let me make it be blunt. Gameplay is important, but there's a lot of gameplay over the place. You can play on Steam, Epic, and every other platform. The mobile is super cool, but like, why do you have to ditch these platforms to come to crypto play? You might be curious, but let's be honest here. You're looking for how can I earn NFT? How can I earn tokens? How can I make money? I mean, that's your motivation. So if that's the motivation, you just need to be very clear on making just to make sure that your product can answer these questions and the motivations,
Yeah.
right? And actually, I think that they did a great job, and the best thing ever is, you know, they've been very strongly in believing what they're doing. I think that's they're getting the reward the well deserved to the team. Um, it's I think that being the first mover is super important in industry of any industry,
Yep.
and where we are in the crypto gaming is just very much similar back in the 2006 and 7, where iPhone was getting introduced, where a lot of people getting iPhones trying to just trying to get these most simple app like drinking beer or playing Angry Bird. We're at that stage right now. Instagram is not yet to exist. Back in the days, so that there's so many different areas you can really put your innovation into. I know it takes a lot of learning. So some of the key qualities it is required for a game studio developer to make a crypto game. You need to have a profound knowledge of free to play, understand why people come in to play these games in the economy perspective. On the flip side, you need to have a deep knowledge, not necessarily deep, but you need to have certain knowledge into crypto, understanding how the financial product works. So you need to have a unique Venn diagram of these two qualities and make a product around that. It's definitely
Mm.
not easy. It's not easy. But I will say this, it's easier to success in the crypto game right now than in the traditional game industry. Again, personal is my personal point of view. Traditional game industry is dead. If not dead, it's dying, if not dead already. I think in most game studios,
Like
the game
a lot of
products, they will
those
be embrace
points
crypto.
are really valid. Like you have this sort of technology base, and you're able to take new technologies to get an advantage. And with these new financial models, you're seeing a whole different way that players relate to each other in a game, or in lots of different games. And so I've been fascinated to watch how communities sort of develop around developers who are promising things like just their NFT projects, but then on their roadmap, they have games down the road. And they're almost using NFTs and crypto as sort of a crowdfunding method to put together their game projects. So, what do you think
It's,
is the future of that kind of thing for game developers?
if you think about it, the crypto is for crowdfunding, then you're in the wrong direction. You will
Hmm.
fail.
Hmm.
It's that simple. Because it's
Why is
not
that?
about fundraising. Because it's about economy building. It's not about raising capital. It's about how you utilize the capital and build an ecosystem that capital sustains. Because if you just purely focus on the raising, people get your token, people can easily dump it. And as you can see, also on the other side from people be copycatting Axie Infinity, these projects will fail. For simply reason is like if you don't have user base, you don't have the brand, or you don't have stickiness of the high market cap of the token. How do you ensure people are just getting so quote unquote earn the tokens without dumping on the market? You're
Hmm.
building the whole like a financial model and the products and ecosystem around that. It's not about raising capital. Raising capital is easy in the current dynamic. Yet, how do you build an ecosystem and the economy model around that? And that's the hard part. And not every game fits. Not every game fits to be a crypto game. Not at all. So you got to be very careful to think about what you're building, and how to build a financial ecosystem around that.
Great. Well, walk. So that's great. I really love how you're going. I think it's very easy to fall into the trap that you're talking about, where it's like, oh, this is just like doing a Kickstarter, and it's absolutely not like that because of the complexity of the financial instruments that you're describing.
It's an
And
open
so,
market. It's open market.
mhm, yes, and so that kind of economy design and systems design, and having the sort of loops that you think about, where you have the game experience and how the loops in that work, how you people are kind of going out of the game into Discord or Twitter and in the social media, and then into the financial tools that you're putting together, where you have maybe sort of financial participation with crypto, that is part market, part social club, and part game, all by itself, social game by itself, is just
Mhm.
totally fascinating and very very interesting. Seeing a lot of innovation there. So as we kind of so into the home stretch here on this panel, um, what do you think are three projects to look out for, or that you're excited about, or are just interesting?
Yeah, I'm very much like keep my close eye on upcoming content to Axie. So far, for whatever it's worth, which is public to the market, I haven't seen any yet. There were a lot of projects getting a lot of hype around, but it's yet to see how they can develop. I like Illuvium a lot. I think what they're doing is DeFi first, like a game second, which is
Hmm.
awesome. Like they got all the traction from the crypto natives, which is good. You need to have a community sticky enough to build whatever they need or they want, right? That's first thing first, community first. I see other projects like taking like high fidelity approach. Star Alice from Solana is
Yeah.
good, as in, you know, they made very pretty entry scene for people to visualize what they could build down the road. But bottom line is like visualization and graphics is something every game developer sort of comes in their with them. It's more about what's the economy down the road that makes sense for people, and most importantly, why I should not dump my the earnings of my tokens and NFTs in game onto the public market, and why people think they should be valuable. that's still yet to be seen, right? I'm still waiting for to see there's a supercell, so to speak, in the crypto gaming space. I'm pretty sure there'll be there something like that pretty soon. There are a lot of creative minds in the market, and the capital market is super hot right now. You can see like last week announcements of the two funds together over $500 million
Every
capital
day.
raise were dumped
Yeah.
into the every single day. So you
Yeah.
can see like the market is super hot. But on the flip side, I don't see a lot of good deals on the capital market. I see a lot of people pitching, decks flying all over the place. But but the issue I often ask people is like, but how do you make your tokens worth a while so that people don't dump it? So it's open market. So and a lot of people just don't know what to answer. Oftentimes people say, hey, you know what? Axie is just Pokemon Unite in this art style. I can do way cooler graphics than this or that. But the issue is, like, fundamentally, you understand who's the demographic. Are they coming here to appreciate your graphic fidelity, or are they here for something else? If you have the clear answer, you just need to have a right solution for them to make a product market fit.
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I am so excited by the space. I think there's going to be a lot of experimentation, a lot of like, failures, a lot of giant successes. I mean, we're going to see billionaires coming out of this. It's so
Oh,
exciting and so interesting.
easily. Easily. Like Axie's fully diluted valuation is over 40 billion. What does it mean? Zynga's market cap is about 10 billion.
Oh my
EA's the
gosh.
total market cap is
Yeah,
about
compare it.
40
Yeah.
billion. So, and we are talking about one Axie Infinity, one single game getting over to 40 billion. Uh, you know, if that's the scale, that's the benchmark we're looking at, we're a Supercell right now, the private owned now, right?
Mhm.
So what can you do on that? The key like knowledge, the key issue challenge here to the industry is the knowledge gap. The knowledge that coming from traditional game to crypto versus the knowledge from crypto to gaming. It's, like everybody dive into the gaming as a career, as how you started. Oh, doing gaming is cool. It's so cool right out of college or
Mhm.
whatever you do. Like, oh,
Oh,
I want to
QA.
start
It
in
must be great to
QA
be a
because I can
tester.
play.
Games
Exactly, you're
all day.
playing to earn, right? You play to earn,
True
man. That's
enough.
how you
True
get
enough.
started.
That's QA games. Yeah.
And but now you realize, holy shit, that's the play to earn, like my life, my career path is not so easy, right? I
Yeah.
have to put a real proof of work into a place. And then later on you realize it's a business, and the business operates away from just a pure like appreciation of the satisfaction of being a role player. So then so a lot of crypto developer come to game, they need to think the same way, and then they need a huge like handholding to understand how the game business is built. Vice versa for the game developer coming to crypto, like I said, how to design economy. And oftentimes we see a lot of Western developers still suffering from free-to-play game design. uh, and simply put, I mean, you can see the game charts has not changed for the last 3 years. It's
Hmm.
still the same on the grossing charts, pretty much the same. You can see some innovation in the free charts I'm talking about mobile games, by the way. You can see the free charts changed quite a bit. You can see like lose some of like fascinating free to play titles up there, but grossing charts still the same. The revenue streams coming from like advertising is picking a big punch, which is not calculated in terms of grossing chart, but in a purchase wise, which is free to play element involved, not much has changed. Whoever is there like 5 years ago was still there. I mean, kudos to these guys. I mean, whatever works, works. Or can I understand another way? People are just getting tired of it, right? They're basically, in a say, laundering or washing the younger generation who never played these games and they got reintroduced to the first iPhone or something. Hey, maybe that game's can play. And lifetime hits, they're gone. And they're still waiting for the next generation. Innovation in the traditional gaming is done. UA in the traditional gaming is done. Like, if you don't have 20 million in the bank to build games in traditional market, forget it. You can use the money for a better use. Invest in crypto. Why do you build a game for doing such a heavy lifting a tedious job. It's not fun. Investors
You're
on the
certainly
other
not
side,
getting a
why would they
30%
put 20
return.
million?
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Who cares about 30% return? I'm talking about 30,000% return, right?
Yeah.
That's how people get into crypto market. If I'm an investor, why do I invest in traditional gaming right now? It does not make any sense. I'm just looking for return. I'm not trying to do charity to say, hey, these game developer, you're running out of a job, out of a fund. Why do I save you? I need return. I'm responsible for my LPs.
Well,
So
and so
the
it's
market is
interesting because we're
changing
seeing,
100%.
for sure, for sure. And I think that we're seeing a lot of the sort of early high risk tolerance investors go into crypto plus gaming. Right? We were just talking about like every day we see these like big, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, venture funds, all that kind of stuff coming into the market, like investing in teams that say they can do, kind of the crypto plus gaming thing. So I think you're totally right, but I think that the pure crypto investment and that kind of thing is not going to deliver the same returns that we're going to see with the crypto plus game engagement, which is kind of the hypothesis of this panel, which is that play free to play to earn is something that is just an epic future that we're going to see develop.
Yeah, free
Great.
to play to earn. Essentially, think that is a free to earn. Who doesn't like free to earn?
Yep. Well, we got to get all our grinder hats on and see what's happening in Axie and all of the other plethora of projects. So I put we can open it up for questions if people want to ask questions in the Discord for Dev.Play 2021. I put some of the links to Axie Infinity, to Illuvium, to Star Atlas for developers who are interested in looking kind of like seeing what good looks like right now. In terms of all of the different possibilities. But yeah, happy to take.
Hi guys. Okay, hi guys. Thanks for the very lively discussion on this very hot topic. I have a couple of we're starting to take questions. I have one question for you, and I think we'll have more coming in. So here's one, and I think it's the basic one. So many game developers are noticing the trend, but are probably behind on understanding the underlying technology. So how can an independent developer, let's say, get up to date on that? And what do you recommend? How do you get on NFT and crypto and play to earn if you're not already following the space closely?
Right.
Sure, I can take that. I mean, number one, I think you need to follow the space closely in the first place to get a base knowledge. It's not easy. It will take you a couple of weeks, if not a month, plus some initial capital to get into the game, the financial game, to understand what is crypto about. How do people play around? It's the rabbit hole. Marty and I were talking about that. It's definitely a lot of a learning curve if you haven't been following space already, but it's definitely worth the effort. I will show you that not only for your career, which is whatever you game want to build, but also for your personal financial situation, as well as for the next get yourself ready for where the world is changing. So it's definitely worth the investment of your time and capital. Secondly, there's a lot of learning curve in terms of like fundamental technology. So I would assume find good partners to work with. I haven't yet to see kind of a service providers on the market yet that being specialized in the crypto game design. I'm pretty sure there'll be some popping up very quickly. There are capital on the market doing A, B, C, D things, yet capital is just one side of the equation. Capital is easy. It's like I think the previous panel mentioned about the capital as well. It's about how you use the capital for what, and what's the additional value add on aside from the capital. So these are the things that's super important to get together. And because game developer, they care about only two things, right? They care about how do I make money, and where are the users. Basically, they care about all two things. That's for traditional game developer mindset. That is, cash flow. All the business we're talking about here, as long as you're not public traded, you're thinking about cash flow. But now you're doing crypto games. In a certain way, you're exposing yourself to the public market from day one. With that said, you need to think about cash flow, whether user base and how much like ARPDAO they can contribute to. But on the flip side, how can the capital market, the open investment market, can appreciate your games? This is not something like the skill sets or knowledge base a smaller studio would get. You probably would need to work with some more experienced, in traditional terms, investment banks or advisor groups on the board to advise you to walk it through. So I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, all good. We
Great.
lost you for a second.
Yeah, I can. Let me add that a little bit. For any of this, I think maybe May. So if you're a game developer and you're just trying to get started from zero, I would say there's a couple of things you need to do. Number one, buy an NFT. Just figure out how to do it.
Simple enough,
Set up
yeah.
a wallet, right? Just have the experience of buying an NFT that uses crypto and all that kind of stuff. Like, to me, it was a very different. Like, I owned it, but I didn't own it. It was a very interesting sort of visceral experience that to really understand the player or user journey that you're going to put all of the people who want to play your game on, right? Because every single person in the world, as Roy was kind of saying, is going to figure out how to set up a wallet, put crypto in it, and buy stuff over the next 12 months or so. Like, it's really happening. And so you should have that experience. And then Roy and I are working with a really amazing dude named Elliot Wainman. He has a thing called Elliot Trades. So I just want to give a shout out to him. He has a great YouTube channel that really explains in very clear language and sometimes with a gaming slant all this stuff. So I'm going to put his link in there to his YouTube channel. I would say
That's awesome.
take a look at Elliot.
Cool. So thanks. I mean, that covers the question well, and thanks for the link. Now, I would like to propose you guys sort of an exercise. So are you familiar with the pre-mortem type of exercise? So you know what a post-mortem is. A pre-mortem is something that you do before taking a big decision, let's say, and you just get into try to imagine how that thing has failed spectacularly. So let's say, for the sake of the argument, that we are 2 years from now, and the whole crypto NFT play to earn market has completely failed. Investors are disillusioned. It's like VR a few years ago all over again. So the question is, what has happened that led to this? What can you try to anything that you think that could happen that would make this market fail? It's a sort of an imagination exercise.
Imagining the spoilers, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Roy, I can think of a few things.
Why do you want to take that?
Sure. I mean, number one, regulation just murders everything. Like, at some point, all governments in the world decide to coordinate together, and they just stomp crypto. There are many reasons they might want to do this. Perhaps fiat is threatened to the point where nobody wants to use regular stuff anymore. So that happens, and crypto goes away because you're just it's illegal to use it at all. It's kind of going to be difficult to do that, kind of like it's hard to stomp out the internet, just because of the non-centralized nature of crypto. So that one to me would be a low likelihood sort of outcome. But if obviously if crypto is illegal, then this stuff is not going to work. There's the friction problem, right? So in 24 months, like as I mentioned, I feel like everybody in the world is going to go through setting up a wallet, funding crypto into it, and then buying stuff with it. If that becomes something that is just too challenging, or there's a lot of scams and that sort of thing built in, and people don't, and companies and or providers don't help people not get scammed, then that may be a large amount of friction that delays the adoption of crypto and how it's used in gaming. And I can see that being more likely than the first one. And then let's see, a third possible spoiler here. I would say big brands decide this is like not for them. Maybe that's because they don't want to, or they experiment with it and then they get burned. So by big brands, I mean okay, the Star Wars gameplay NFT crypto game comes out, or we're already seeing big sports teams do it. We're always seeing lots of different stuff, and they're having success. So I would say it's a very low likelihood spoiler. But if there is mass adoption based on large brands, and then the large brands pull back, that would be kind of a spoiler. But then I would see smaller new IP emerge to take that place, especially with like probably younger generation type kids who are more familiar and more tolerant of technical challenges. I don't know. That's a really general off the cuff kind of overview of what I think might be 3 spoilers.
Yeah, but I think it's very cool to not just cool, but I think it's actually quite useful to think of such major spoilers that could just derail the whole thing. And thanks for
The
that.
only thing can get derailed is if you don't participate now, you will get derailed. There's nothing else.
That's
Roy, you're such a
ultimate
maxi.
argument. Yeah. Cool. Got it. So one more question from the chat. How can we integrate the NFT minting to the usual game development process?
Yeah, minting is simplest. Minting is easy. It's just a line of a code, just create a token. It's not hard. Again, don't think about you're selling NFTs. And don't ever think about NFT is important. It's the value proposition within the ecosystem, within the economy. That's what makes it NFT valuable. Minting is easy. It's just like you print a piece of paper, write your names on that. Do you think it's valuable? No. It's the whole community and economy around that makes it valuable. So think about that first. And the rest of that is easy. It's super easy. I'm not just I'm making it up. Making NFT is the easiest thing ever. It's just creating a token. It's just simple. Whether the token has a value is that what kind of a universe, the context, or economy you build around that. You want to create not NFT. You want to create NFT that holds value. That's what your real question is. So let's talk about how do you create value. Don't think about how to create NFT.
Very solid advice, Roy.
I would say yes, but I also want to just give an answer that a game developer might like, or at least help them. There's the value layer, which is the most important, no doubt at all. Totally agree with you, Roy. But then there's the implementation and engineering layer, and maybe that's what I just want to answer that question really quick. So you should think about minting an NFT and having NFTs integrate with games, kind of like having a outboard database where somebody has a wallet, or all your players have a wallet, and your game needs to be able to query that wallet and understand that they have a certain NFT or whatever token in it, and then that will affect their gameplay based on their their authorization, that kind of thing. So when making that kind of stuff, there's a lot of code that just exists in public that you can use. You do need to be careful about that, though, because there's lots of interesting sort of legal consequences of using public domain code. So definitely think about that when you're looking into how to do it. And then just making sure that you have an architectural strategy for integrating crypto tokens into your client, and how it deals with its server, and how the server talks to wallets. So that's kind of the overall thinking you need to do just from a fundamentally practical architectural standpoint.
Cool. Thanks a lot. And I think that covers the questions that we have for now. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for being part of the event. Very lively conversation. Thanks a lot for your support. And let's meet in 1 year from now and discuss hopefully how NFT and Play to Earn have taken over the games industry.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.